Need a new playmat? Playing with Power MTG now has merchandise. Go to playingwithpowermtg.com to order playmats and t-shirts, with more merch on the way. All sales help us grow the channel. You can also support us by purchasing on TCG Player through our affiliate links in the description. We love TCG Player because it gives the best prices online and still supports local game stores. Finally, you can support us directly through Patreon. You'll get access to our community, early access to videos, and even exclusive videos not available anywhere else. More info is in the description. Thanks for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Playing with Power MTG, where we play with the most powerful cards in the most powerful formats. Another round is here, and we are bringing back some new commanders to the table, as well as some familiar favorites. We always love trying out new commanders and throwing them into the mix in true trial by fire. So that's what we're doing tonight. A quick thanks to all of our patrons for their support. We really could not do this without you. If you'd like to become a patron, please check out the link in the description below and check out some of the perks our patrons get. You can also show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. It really helps out a lot. Now, let's start out by showcasing our fighters this evening. First, we have Mike piloting Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. Yuriko is a resilient commander capable of dealing massive damage quickly. She can be built in a number of ways, and Mike chose to do the extra turns Yuriko, dealing damage and taking extra turns to pull ahead and win. Mike's opening hand contains an Underground Sea, Island, Marsh Flats, Prismatic Vista, Dramatic Reversal, Preordained, and a Fairy Seer. Next, we have Garrett piloting Yisan, the Wanderer Bard. Yisan is a toolbox commander using his ability to find answers and adapt to either combo midgame or grind late. Garrett's opening hand contains a Verdant Catacombs, Regrowth, Gaia's Cradle, Sylvan Safekeeper, Secure Tribe Scout, and 2 snow-covered forests. After that, we have Folger piloting the 3-color pairing of Tymna the Weaver and Ikra Shadiki the Usurper. This deck is an ad nauseam focused combo deck which leverages life gain for better ad nos turns and big damage win cons. Folger's opening hand contains a Pernicious Deed, Nihil Spellbomb, Finehorn Elves, Elvish Spirit Guide, Temple Garden, Mox Opal, and a Bloodstained Mire. Finally, we have Ryan piloting Godo, Bandit Warlord. This deck uses Godo's ability to fetch up and equip Helm of the Host for infinite attack phases. Ryan's opening hand contains a Thran Dynamo, Possibility Storm, Defense Grid, Emergence Zone, Mana Crypt, Gemstone Caverns, and a Metalworker. Without further ado, let's kick off this exciting embarkation of excellent eager enemies. Mike wins the Human Dartboard Challenge and gets to start us off. But Ryan has a pre-game action and puts Gemstone Caverns onto the battlefield, exiling Possibility Storm. Mike plays an Underground Sea for turn. He casts a Fairy Seer. He scries 2, puts 1 on top, 1 on bottom, and passes the turn. Folger plays a Temple Garden into play untapped, paying 2 life. He casts a Finehorn Elves and follows up with a Mox Opal. He passes the turn. Garrett plays a Verdant Catacombs for turn. He cracks it for a snow-covered forest. He casts a Secure Tribe Scout. He ends his turn. Ryan plays an Emergence Zone for turn. He casts a Mana Crypt. He taps 4 and casts Thran Dynamo. He then follows up with a Metalworker. The table starts to worry about how much mana Ryan is producing, and Ryan gives the turn to Mike. Mike plays an Island for turn. He attacks Garrett with his Fairy Seer. In his second main phase, he casts Cursed Totem. Garrett now has to think of a way out of that lock, and Mike passes to Folger. Folger plays a Bloodstained Mire for turn. He cracks it for an Overgrown Tomb into play untapped, paying 2 life. He exiles Elvish Spirit Guide from his hand to add 1 green to his pool. He casts his commander, Tymna the Weaver. He attacks Mike with his Finehorn Elves. In his second main phase, he pays 1 life and draws a card through Tymna's ability. He gives the turn to Garrett. Garrett plays a Gaia's Cradle for turn. He casts a Sylvan Safekeeper. He passes. Ryan starts off his turn by casting Defense Grid. Mike, knowing how much that disrupts a control player's plan, responds by casting Force of Will, exiling a blue card, and paying 1 life. Defense Grid is countered, and Ryan follows up by casting Sensei's Divining Top. He casts a Grim Monolith. He gives the turn to Mike. Mike starts off his turn by attacking Folger with his Fairy Seer. Folger declares no blocks, and Mike activates Yuriko's Ninjutsu ability, putting her onto the battlefield, hitting Folger for 1. Mike reveals the top card of his library, which is the God Eternal Catnet, putting it into his hand, and everyone else loses 4 life. In his second main phase, Mike plays a Prismatic Vista for turn. He cracks it for an island. He recasts his Fairy Seer, Scrying 2, and Bottoming Bow. All through, Mike passes. Folger plays an Exotic Orchard for turn. He moves to combat and attacks Garrett with his Tymna and Finehorn Elves at Mike. Both take the damage, and in his second main phase, he pays 2 life and draws 2 cards. He casts a Mana Crypt. He casts a Nihil Spellbomb. He follows up by casting his other commander, Ikra Shadiki. Folger gives the turn to Garrett. Garrett plays a Snow-Covered Forest for turn. He casts his commander, Yisan the Wanderer Bard. He passes the turn. At the end of Garrett's turn, Ryan activates his Sensei's Top, looking at the top 3 and rearranging. Ryan plays a mountain for turn. He casts his commander, Godo, Bandit Warlord. Godo resolves and his trigger goes onto the stack, and Ryan responds to it by activating his Sensei's Divining Top, drawing a card, and putting it on top of his library. Godo's trigger resolves, and Ryan fetches up a Helm of the Host onto the battlefield. He pays 5 to equip Helm of the Host to Godo. In response to the equip activation, Mike pays 4 life to cast Snuff Out, targeting Godo. Godo is destroyed, and Ryan passes the turn. Mike plays a Marsh Flats for turn. He cracks it for a Swamp. He casts Jace, the Mind Sculptor. This is a real problem for the table, because they know he has a God Eternal Kefnet in his hand. He activates Jace's 0 ability to Brainstorm, drawing 3 and putting 2 back on top. All through, he passes to Folger. Folger starts off his turn by immediately moving to combat, swinging Ikra at Ryan. Ryan takes the damage, and Folger gains 7, loses 1, and draws a card through Tymna. He plays a Beseju, who shelters all for turn. He casts Pernicious Deed. All finished up, he passes the turn. Garrett plays a Snow-Covered Forest for turn. He casts a Mox Diamond, discarding a Snow-Covered Forest. He casts Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. He ends his turn. Ryan, recovering from his disruption, plays a City of Traders for turn and passes. Mike plays a Flooded Strand for turn. He cracks it for an island. He activates Jace's 0 ability to Brainstorm. He casts God Eternal Kefnet. Selvala's ability triggers and Mike draws a card. He then follows up with a Mystic Remora. In response, Ryan casts Pyroblast, countering the fish. Dismayed, but still in a pretty good spot, Mike ends his turn. Folger plays a Polluted Delta for turn. He cracks it for a Snow-Covered Swamp. He attacks Ryan with Ikra. Ryan takes the hit, Folger gains 7, loses 1, and draws 1 through Tymna. In his second main phase, he casts Ad Nauseam. Ad Naus resolves, and Folger reveals a Vault of Whispers, Swamp, Krosan Wayfarer, Windswept Heath, Arbor Elf, Elves of Deep Shadow, City of Brass, Marsh Flats, Scavenging Ground, Command Tower, Crop Rotation, Abrupt Decay, Prismatic Vista, Imperial Seal, Elvish Mystic, Priest of Titania, Chrome Mox, Llanowar Elves, Caves of Koilos, Verdant Catacombs, Swords to Plowshares, Avacyn's Pilgrim, Godless Shrine, Mana Confluence, Culling the Weak, Lotus Petal, Dark Confidant, Urborg, Angel's Grace, Thoughtseize, Entomb, Praetor's Grasp, Aven Mind Sensor, Forest, and a Smothering Tithe, deciding to stop there. Folger casts a Lotus Petal for turn. He casts a Chrome Mox, imprinting Diabolic Tutor. He then casts Silence, shutting off all opponents from casting spells. He cracks his Lotus Petal for white to cast Angel's Grace. He then follows up with Sickening Dreams, discarding 34 cards, dealing 34 damage to all creatures and all players, with Angel's Grace saving him and winning the game. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to say, that game was amazing. Everyone knows just how explosive Ad Naus can be, but when you build your deck around it, it really takes it to even higher levels. Congrats to Folger on his win. His Ad Naus turn was explosive and no one saw it coming. Leveraging the life gain from his commander really allowed him to dig even deeper. Mike's Yuriko deck was poised and ready to start locking the game down with Kefnet and Jace the Mind Sculptor. That combo allows for infinite turns with an infinite turn card in your hand. In the end, Folger simply beat him to the punch. Garrett was essentially dead in the water from the Cursed Totem on Mike's board. With his commander shut off and his creatures, he's really just not in this game. Ryan had an explosive start and almost won the game. Mike's well-placed removal set him back, and Folger took the opportunity to win. The player of the game was Mike. While Folger may have won, it was Mike who had all the appropriate answers to keep the other decks in check. The most valuable card goes of course to Ad Nauseam. A 5 mana instant that allows you to trade life for cards in this format with these life totals is completely broken, and we love it. This card single-handedly gave Folger the resources he needed to win the game. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode. Tune in next time when we duke it out to see who will be king of the competitive EDH table. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.